Matas Buzelis is going to shock the NBA world this upcoming season. What's going on, guys? My name is Patrick Siepman, and welcome into the Bulls Report. And I wanted to do an entire video around Matas Buzelis as, in my opinion, he has been looking the part in NBA Summer League. I still am thinking about this poster dunk he had late Sunday night versus the Golden State Warriors. It was awesome. Probably going to go down as the top play of this NBA Summer League, so shout out to him for that one. That was sweet. But coming up in just a second, 5 reasons why I do believe in Matas Buzelis, full breakdown of his entire game. But let's get you guys involved here early. If you believe in Matas Buzelis, just got to like today's video. I put the goal on today's show as 500 likes. And listen, he's a young kid. Maybe he's on YouTube searching up his name. I want him to see the support that he has from Bulls fans. So drop a like on today's show. Maybe we do hit 500 likes. But let's dive into the NBA draft results here. So why I do believe he's going to shock the NBA and he's going to make people regret passing on him is because I think we could look back at this NBA draft and he could be in the conversation of the best player in this draft. You have Zaccharie, Risacher. He hasn't looked too good in Summer League. Obviously I'm not going to overreact to Summer League, what I've seen so far, but I don't know. I'm just not a believer in Risacher. Wasn't the biggest fan of Alex Sarr coming out of the draft, and there was a clip of him taking a pull-up three-pointer when the Atlanta Hawks had a 4-on-1 in Summer League. I don't know. I think it kind of speaks to him as a player on that one. But also Reed Sheppard, he's looked great with the Houston Rockets. He went number 3. He could be in contention for Rookie of the Year. Spurs, Stephon Castle, he's looked fantastic. Didn't like the Ron Holland pick for the Pistons. Didn't like the Hornets pick at number 6 either. Like the Trailblazers pick for Donovan Clingan, but will he end up being the best player in the draft? I am not sure. Love the Timberwolves getting Dillingham. I think that's going to be a great fit, up there in Minnesota. But again, is he going to put up enough production where he could win Rookie of the Year? Then also I like the Zaccharie pick and like Cody Williams as well to the Utah Jazz. But I do believe Matas Buzelis will end up being the best player in this year's draft, and I got 5 reasons why. So number 1. From what I've seen in Summer League, the defensive ability is there with Matas. And, the way he moves his feet laterally, he is incredibly, quick on his first step. I think we don't talk about that enough. We talk about first step offensively. What about first step defensively? He is great, especially in dribble handoffs, because that's a lot of the actions they run in Summer League. He is constantly right there, putting his foot out, just, making it tough for the, opposing guard. And also he had this insane block here. So, you guys see it right now. He's got his the ball's up in the air on the left side of the rim, and he absolutely pinned this against the backboard. But it was a guard. He turned left on him, was trying to get to a left-handed layup, created separation, but just due to his athleticism and his natural size and his length, he was able to, close this gap pretty quickly and pin this against the glass. This was awesome. So, there's just an example of Matas, being a plus defender, and I think he will be a plus defender from day one. His first game, opening night in the NBA, he will be in the top half of NBA defenders. He's got the size, he's got the wingspan, and he's also got the want. And I think that's so key when we're looking at, these younger NBA players, specifically more in the NBA than any other league. I got to see the passion. I got to see the energy. I got to see that want to be a great defender. I see it with Buzelis. He is flying around. He's communicating. He's pointing out, different assignments for his, or for the rest of his team on defense. So I think he's going to be a plus defender from day one. I love the hustle. I love the swagger he plays with, and I'm just overall excited to just watch him keep developing as a defensive wing here in the NBA. But number 2 for me, the athleticism. I mean, it is real, man. He is a top-tier athlete. We saw the G League Ignite clips. We saw the highlights, and, I think you can look like a great athlete, in the G League or in college, but can you look like a great athlete on the NBA floor around other great athletes? Well, Matas already kind of gave us a prime example of that. I'm still not over that dunk, man. On the fast break, rising up over the top of the defender. And also my favorite part of this was the mean mug he had after to the Warriors player after he just absolutely posterized him. And, it's just sweet there for Buzelis. But, I do think the combination of athleticism and hustle will, prevail for Matas throughout his NBA career and honestly in any sport. If you're a younger person watching this video, if you have athleticism and you have hustle, even if you don't have the skill level, at the top or at a top level in comparison to, your peers, you're going to end up being a good player in no matter what sport it is. And Matas has that. And also 6'9", and he also has the skill. So I think that combination would just help him prevail, throughout his NBA career. But, let's take a quick second and look at what he needs to improve. So, what I've seen in the summer league, he's got a super slim frame. He's going to need to put on more weight, on that. But I think that's just going to happen naturally. Again, he's 19 years old. I mean, think about how you looked when you were 19 compared to you were when you were 24. It's a night and day, I am sure. So he's going to need that on more size. His jump shot is going to need to improve as well. But we'll talk about his jump shot a little more later. Is why I do think, due to this form and release, he could, develop that very quickly. But the one thing I want to see out of Matas, working out of the post. He's big. He's a good athlete. Let's get a turnaround jumper in his game. Let's, what the one biggest gripe I would always have with Jason Tatum is, yes, he can do all these, or he can get to any shot on the perimeter. But I think Tatum is at his best when he's working out of the post. I want to see Matas develop that early in his NBA career. So those are three things I would want to see, Matas improve the most. But you guys let me know. What does Matas Buzelis need to improve the most, throughout his NBA career? You guys let me know your thoughts down below in the comments section. Number 3 for me on why I believe Buzelis will succeed is just the overall eye test. I got the saying here around the Chat Sports offices that, eyes don't lie. And that was a big reason why I was huge on Victor Wembanyama when he was coming out, thinking he has the potential to be a top 5 NBA player of all time, because just use your eyes. It does not lie with a guy like that. He is a alien out there on the basketball court. Don't overthink it. Same thing with Matas. I'm watching him in this summer league. Just the way he carries himself, in and out of sets, just the extra hustle, the extra, him diving on the floor for a loose ball, just the little things. My eyes don't lie with him. And, maybe he hasn't been the most efficient player so far in summer league. That's okay. Nobody's really that efficient, so far, especially in summer league. All these guys are just, really hyper athletes or plus defenders. And I just think the offensive game is just, it's just natural that people are going to struggle and not be the most efficient. But, I will say this. This is going to be a process for Buzelis, but his skill set is at an NBA level. He has an NBA skill set. And, with guys like that, where it's okay, we need to be patient with them. I don't want Bulls fans to overreact. If we are 3-4 years into the Buzelis experiment and he's maybe not an NBA All-Star, just be patient. I think there's going to be a long run for Buzelis where maybe he's not going to pop in year 2 or year 3 like a Paolo Banchero or even extreme example like an Anthony Edwards. I think this could be something when he hits that stride at 24 years old, which is 5 years from now, then we're going to see him at his peak. I don't know if it's going to be an immediate impact, right away in the league. Hey, if it is, Matas, go ahead and prove me wrong. I would absolutely love that, obviously as a Bulls fan. But number 4 on why I think he's going to succeed here is his jump shot development. And, I think when you're talking about jump shooting in, specifically the NBA, I think form is so key because, there's bigger defenders, they're longer, the closeouts are quicker. And listen, when I watch his jump shot, even though he has not been an efficient jump shooter so far, even though he did go 4 of 8 from downtown against the Warriors, but, some turnaround jumpers haven't really looked, too good. He had a couple air balls as well, but he has solid form and the same release point every single time. He gets to that same spot. He's got a super solid base. It's super smooth looking. And I'm a believer when you have that, smooth jump shot, which is the same form every time, it just comes down to reps. And with him being 19, he's going to work his ass off in the offseason. And, speaking about him working, also another big reason why I'm a believer, you're playing for your hometown team. If you need any extra motivation, get in the gym in the offseason or stay there an extra hour, you're playing for the team that all your friends and family grew up loving, the team that you grew up loving, the team that you watched Derrick Rose as a young kid, lead the Bulls to a top seed in the Eastern Conference. That was him watching that. So I just think the jump shot, it's going to take time. But again, I'm a believer in, his form and his release point on that jumper where I think it's going to end up working out for Buzelis. But also, number 5 for me is, why I do think he's going to be valuable is he's got a winning archetype. And, I think if we've seen in the NBA the past, honestly, throughout NBA history, what wins? It is the big 3-and-D wings. They just win in the NBA. And what took the Mavericks this past season to another level? because they always had Luka. They even had Kyrie the year before that. But what took them to the next level was adding P.J. Washington, adding Derrick Jones. These big wings who can knock down an open three-pointer in the flow of the offense. And then if you want the extreme example, that would be the Boston Celtics with Tatum and Brown, guys that can get it done on both sides of the floor. Big body, super long. They can switch damn near everything out there on the court. That type of archetype wins. And that's why also I wasn't mad about the Bulls paying Patrick Williams, because that player, it's almost like, take the NFL for example. Like the running back position is obviously not as valuable right now as the receiver position. Just like I think the most valuable position in the NBA right now is that big 3-and-D wing. It has been winning throughout NBA history. So those are my 5 reasons on why I do believe Buzelis will end up succeeding here in the NBA. But you guys let me know. Do you believe in Matas Buzelis? Give me a Y for yes or give me an N for no down in the comments section. I better see a whole lot of Ys. I'll just say that. I'm a believer. He looks apart. He loves playing for the Bulls. Plays hard every single night, from what I've seen so far. So I think he's going to really end up being a solid pro here for Chicago. But also, if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, I'll be tweeting a bunch of Matas Buzelis highlights out this entire rest of Summer League, entire preseason and season. So if you guys want to give me a follow over there, that's the handle, @PatSieps. Would really, really appreciate it. But thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys next time. Go Bulls.